The lives of MD residents have always made for great television. Nothing creates more drama or higher ratings than young doctors learning to fight disease. But for the medical residents at Children's Hospital Los Angeles, what's at stake isn't ratings, it's real children's lives.
When people think of residency training, they often think of Grey's Anatomy, House, ER.
But I feel like TV has no idea for how it really is. And, you know, you go to work, the sun's not shining, and when you go home, it's already dark again.
Grueling hours, lots of work, not a lot of sleep. So tell me what brings you in today.
And he keeps running a fever.
Okay.
And they said he has strep throat.
Unlike TV, training at Children's Hospital Los Angeles has no script and no sure happy ending.
So we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Okay.
It'll all come down to tomorrow's test. Things don't happen here like they do on TV shows like House. We can't experiment with our kids. We can't give them different treatments to see if they work. It's tough because it is a matter of life and death. You ready to go home or do you want to stay with me? You want to go home?
You want to go home?
I can remember asking, how is it that you keep from crying when you see how sick the kids are? Well, the reality is, these children are depending on you. You know, if you're not strong enough to handle it, then you're going to hurt them and their outcome. So I think you have to be brave, you have to be strong.
Despite the program's rigors, the competition to become a resident at Children's Hospital Los Angeles is stiff. Hundreds of the best medical school graduates from across the country compete for less than 30 available positions.
You work very hard in this program, and you're taught by a myriad of incredible physicians who are great teachers and great clinicians themselves. We see all the different illnesses that you only maybe read about if you go to another residency program.
When I first came to Children's Hospital Los Angeles, I saw all of the bright colors and the warmth as soon as you hit the door, from the security guards who are leading people through the corridors to the actual patients that you see playing in the hallway and looking at the fish in the aquarium. I was just like, this is the place for me.
The MD residency program at Children's Hospital is 3 years long. The first year, called the intern year, can be the most intimidating.
I think as an intern, I started off, of course, wide-eyed, excited, nervous, frankly, just afraid when the pager went off or afraid when the phone rang, you know, just not really knowing what to expect and not really knowing what was going to be on the other end of that conversation.
Luay Kilani is a first-year intern who just started at Children's Hospital.
So today being my first day back on this floor, it's scary. I've had some really sick kids that, you know, the parents are used to their old doctors, and now they have a new face, a fresh face coming in that, you know, they're still warming up to and need to trust their kid, you know, to you.
You doing good?
Some of these kids have the rarest of rare diseases, and you're learning firsthand. They're really, really tough kids, and I'm the doctor. It's scary. You go home sometimes and it hits you, you're like, oh my God, what did I just go through today?
With cases this complex, even the slightest change in a patient can be a prelude to an emergency. Jane O is also a first-year intern. Looking over an EKG, she sees a problem and quickly summons her attending physician. Jane's attending is Dr. Yaniv Bar-Cohen, a world-class pediatric cardiologist.
All right, so there are a few rules to looking at artifacts, okay? But the single easiest one is that if you see the QRSs marching along, they're perfectly normal QRSs. So what Jane was showing me was an electrocardiogram of something that looked like it may have been very dangerous. However, the patients, they're moving around or they're doing certain things that changes the way the EKG looks. So what she was showing me was actually entirely normal, but I can understand why she was concerned that it may have meant that something was bad with the kid's heart. So I think based on everything I'm seeing here, I think there's a very good chance you'll be able to go home tomorrow, okay?
Faisal Chawla is a second-year resident. His current rotation is in the emergency department, the ER.
The emergency room here is the only level 1 trauma center for pediatrics here in Los Angeles. I think we see more than 50,000 patients a year. You'll see things from the common cold to car accidents and gunshot wounds. So it can be a quite exhilarating experience.
One of the challenges in the chaos of the emergency department is not missing the subtle signs that a life-threatening disease could lurk behind the simplest of symptoms.
The learning curve here is very, very steep. Slam over here, we'll take a look at his belly. We had a kid that had a cough, and we thought it was just an ordinary cough. And there was an inkling that something wasn't quite right, so we ordered some more tests, and we took an x-ray, and we actually ended up finding a mass in the chest. So it ended up being a cancer. It's an amazing feeling knowing that you going in there and doing your job and taking a good history and doing a good physical exam, that you could stumble across the clue that is going to save a kid's life.
Hello, good afternoon.
TaShawna Stokes is now in the 3rd year of her residency.
I love being at Children's Hospital because we have the opportunity to see kids of all ages. You know, a lot of them have seen us mature as residents, and they can remember, I remember when it was your first day. And so it makes it a little bit, I guess, special when you develop this bond with your patients and you're able to see them develop, you're able to see them grow. In turn, they're able to see you grow in the same way. Hello, Abby.
Hi, Abby.
How are you today?
Fine.
Yes, Abigail, I have known since my very first day of internship. I think I met her when she was about 6 months of age. She had just gotten a liver transplant. And she was growing, and her little belly was bigger than the rest of her, but she had a sweet spirit even at that time. But I was able to see her go from not being able to even sit alone to running up and down the hallways now. What would you say would be the name of the first procedure that you would try to have as opposed to a transplant?
Okay, so then you'd first try the COSAM procedure.
Right. I think it's very rewarding for both me and Jane when I'm able to share with her the process that I've had in learning a patient and knowing how, especially Abby, how she has developed and how she's grown over the years.
As first years, we look at the 2nd and 3rd years a lot, and we see how much they know and how great they are at leading teams and really what great skills they have in patient care. And I think that's part of what attracts us to come to this hospital is they're going to be out there on their own next year, and they're great doctors. And to think that we're going to be there in 2 years is something to look forward to. Okay.
Now that I've been chosen to be one of the chief residents, I am a little nervous. I know the task that's ahead of me. So now the responsibility has gone from, as a first year, I had lots of people to lean on, and little by little, you know, you gain that autonomy. And now when I go into my chief residency year, it'll all fall on my shoulders. Every day that we come in this hospital, we know that the children come first. It doesn't matter how tired we are, it doesn't matter how stressed we are, it doesn't matter what we had to deal with the other day. The reality is these children are here now, and they're the ones who need us. You learn how to do with it, and you cope, and you amaze yourself at how you're able to handle situations that are very, very stressful.
It's just an amazing experience to be able to go the whole 3 years with them, see how they develop their skills, see how they mature in their skills and their ability to handle all the types of patients that we see at Children's Hospital Los Angeles.
For me, Children's Hospital is about growth. It's about growth and maturity. It's about compassion. It's about leadership. I feel like it's teaching me how to become a better physician, but I'm also learning how to be a better person from working with my patients. I definitely made the right choice by coming to Children's Hospital. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.